mercy on
Gabe
me.
Coon, my brethren.
Hello.
We're back.
How are you doing?
I'm wonderful.
How to pop the top?
A little pop top.
Makes me. What do our commenters say? Say it makes us cool, or what do they say? Make you a
Ballers.
badass.
Ballers.
I'm a
Shot
baller
call.
with my Waterloo. What's up, dude? You good?
Oh yeah. Real good.
Yeah. What'd you do this weekend? Kicked it.
Let me think. Friday. So my dad, we moved shops. We moved to a different shop.
Oh, where at?
Out in Nander.
Where?
You can tell you're not from Mississippi.
Mississippi. No, I'm not.
Hernando, Mississippi.
Nander.
For my Tennesseans, because they say Mississippi. They don't say Mississippi like I do. But yeah, it's in Hernando. It wasn't Olive Branch. Now it's in Hernando. We built the shop. Been building it for about a month and a half now.
Okay.
Got it built. I had to have everything moved in on Friday.
Nice.
Yeah. Pain in the butt. But we took care of it. By the end of it, we were all shot. So Friday night, I did not do anything. I chilled.
Okay.
Relaxed.
How was the weather by you? Bad,
Friday night was the
storm.
nadir.
Yep. Correct. Prayers to all of our people in Wynn, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Tunica, Mississippi,
Amory.
Covington, Tennessee,
I know Amory was the week before, but
hell of a lot of folks out there, man.
yeah. Wynn got, was it Wynn and Earl both in Arkansas?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible. Covington was bad. Was it Brighton also that got hit pretty hard?
I know people don't give a damn, but out by my we'd was weird. We barely had rain at my house. We
really?
had wind and damage that way, but right by my house in East Memphis,
Nothing.
it was clear. But then you go down the street over on Quince, basically, and it was just, man,
Slammed.
Yeah, trees over power lines.
Yeah, I've seen a couple. I got friends that work in the tree business, and I saw some houses that got hit by trees and stuff like that. But down by us, Mississippi didn't get hit hard really at all. When it first was coming through, after it had passed through Arkansas and passed through Covington, the line, if you look on the radar and stuff, yeah, you got a black cherry. It was
That's pretty good,
different
dude.
flavor.
This one's actually pretty good.
It looked like it took you back there for a second.
It's pretty solid, man.
Right.
We were talking trash on it before the show.
I
Kenny made it
know.
seem like it wasn't good enough.
Does it taste like a black cherry White Claw? That's what I was afraid of. That's why I didn't.
No, it's more subtle.
Okay,
a lot more
cool.
subtle. Now continue.
So the line, if you look at the radar, it shows the line of the tornado, the path of the tornado. It literally, sorry, Mike, it literally looked like it was coming right for our house. If you looked on it, our house was right in the path. But it didn't really get too bad because I don't think the tornado ever actually touched down Memphis or North Mississippi. I think after it left Arkansas and
just heavy winds.
Yeah, it was just heavy winds. But we sat in the garage the whole time and watched it because
you like
rednecks.
watching storms. Yeah. Okay. Only thing for me, I lost power for about a day.
Yeah, that's the good thing about living in Mississippi and not in Memphis is we don't.
You got underground power lines?
Hell if I know, but we don't lose power. I know every time a storm comes through, Memphis loses power. We don't
100%.
lose power.
I lose power every storm that rolls through.
Yeah, no, we don't. We usually don't have those issues. The only time that we lost power was when the tornado literally, 3 years ago, January 2020, it came less than a quarter mile from my house. The street over from me got torn apart. The tornado that touched down. And Olive Branch had missed us literally by a quarter mile. Our power was out for legitimately 4 days, and then I felt the pain of what people in Memphis feel like during storms.
It's terrible. I actually ended up, because I didn't have power, I stayed out here in good old Collierville in the good old the backyard of one Kenny Stubblefield.
Let's go.
You stayed in Kenny's backyard?
No, are you serious?
I mean, you can if you want.
I stayed in Collierville, dude.
Who'd
At
you
a
stay
buddy's
with
house.
Oh, okay.
At a buddy's house.
You and Taylor packed it up and
No, Taylor's actually in Scottsdale for a bachelorette trip.
Oh, so she picked a good time to be gone.
Yes, 100%.
Not her bachelorette trip, I'm assuming.
No, not hers. Okay. Not hers. But she came back with a whole bunch of tea to spill.
Yeah.
It was fantastic, man.
So you just had a weekend to yourself, is that what you're saying?
Until Saturday. She got back on Saturday at 2. So back part of the week. Yeah. Friday by myself. With no power.
Anything else interesting? Saturday?
No, dude.
Before y'all get off the storm, can we just talked about watching storms. Have y'all seen those videos going around Twitter of those people that were taking videos of the tornado as they were going straight towards them? Have you seen those videos?
Storm chasers?
No, like random people.
just like civilians
that were getting like sucked into the tornado. Like there was this one from Little Rock,
but they were
Arkansas.
chasing it though.
No, they were in their office building and they were just watching it come.
It was coming towards them.
Head over, and they were like,
they're just-
"Close the door."
Get y'all's ass in the basement, man.
Yeah.
Like the
Get out of there.
lady that was taking the video literally got sucked into the tornado and deposited it in the parking lot of the building she was in.
Tornadoes are freaky, dude.
I'm like,
They are freaky.
is this not like?
You ever seen Twister?
Yes, I have. It's one of the first movies I ever saw, actually.
But
Okay,
yeah, don't
Kenny, start.
as a civilian go. Don't film. Get your ass to a safe spot. No windows.
What is it?
That
I
whole
think
thing.
I think it said in Covington there was like 140-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah,
It's so crazy.
easily. Yeah.
So crazy.
No, it's ridiculous.
I know. Tornadic activity, man.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, we sat in the garage for like probably an hour and 15 minutes and just watched it. Because we have a lot of trees around us and stuff. So just watching the trees like go back and forth and everything and watching the lightning.
Interesting to you.
I don't know. I really don't know. Like if it's interesting to me, it's just something my dad loves storms. Like I'm not joking. Every time there's a storm, opens the door, goes outside since I was a kid. So it's just like I'm conditioned to it. When there's a storm, it's just cool for me to watch.
I like thunder. I think they're like rain falling. Pretty peaceful. When the thunder and lightning is too ridiculous though. It's not peaceful at all.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a tornado like that?
No,
Like,
I've had to do like when I was growing up, elementary school, high school, I had to get into a couple like tornado, whatever the hell you call it. It'd be a tornado drill, but it wasn't a drill. You go down, tuck and cover. The whole
That
thing.
sucked. When you had to like put your head in your knees for like 20 minutes.
No, it does suck.
No,
But I remember having to do that a few times in school.
When that tornado hit by us a few years ago, it was nuts. Like felt the house shaking.
Yeah.
Hear
They
the
say-
like,
but here's
loudest, like the thunder is so loud it's shaking the house. The wind is so loud, like
Yeah.
it's pretty nuts.
And people say don't wait. The weathermen and the meteorologists say don't wait till you hear it. You're gonna hear it though when it pulls up. Get your
absolutely,
ass to cover at that point.
Yeah, because so when that tornado hit, it was like 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
So everyone's asleep, obviously, and I think it was like a Friday night. So like me and all my friends had hung out that night. My sister, her now husband was her boyfriend then, and my cousin, we were all at the house hanging out, and we're all asleep. And simultaneously, like we all walk into the living room.
It'll
at the
wake
same
you
time.
up.
That's how loud the thunder and lightning and just the wind and everything
wake
was.
you up.
It'll pull you straight out of your sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my friend living down the road, like 80 or 90 trees knocked down in their yard, blew their front door open. Like it was, everybody else stayed the night over there, but I was always, he lives 2 streets over from me. So I would always go home. Everybody else would always stay the night over there if they were drinking and stuff. Yeah.
Long story short, this whole tornado and bad weather conversation, I hope everybody's doing all right out there.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Gabe, did you get to watch Christian's interview with Antonio Anderson?
I haven't got to catch up on it. What's up?
Yeah, it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
Talked about the foundation.
Talked about the new Antonio Anderson Foundation. You guys can go check that video out on YouTube currently as we speak. But yeah, it was fun. I've done a few interviews with Antonio. He's super chill, super cool.
For sure.
He ain't afraid to drop F-bombs and be real. So you like talking to those kind of people.
100%.
When they'll give it to you straight, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got a cool story.
So I need to go check it out.
Yeah, you probably won't, but if you do.
No, what do you mean I
I'm
won't?
just
Come on, dude. I watch all your stuff.
His story is crazy though. Like, everybody knows him from when he played at Memphis, and he's just a legend at Memphis. And
yeah, because you said you didn't know any of that stuff, right?
I didn't know about his eyes and his ears. I
Yeah.
had no clue about that. And that just me not paying attention, I guess. I'm sure it's a story that's been out there for a while, but to hear him talk about, kind of how all of that was taken from him based on things that he had no control over, coaching basically saved his life, really, is what I took from that conversation.
From what it sounds like, yeah, like he was in a bad place until I think he said his friend offered him to come just help him out coaching and stuff, and then that kind of turned it around for him. But yeah, love Antonio.
Kicking ass, taking names now.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
It's good to see.
Good dude, good coach, was a great player. Anything else to catch up on over the weekend? You said nothing else for you?
Women's basketball. I watched women's basketball on Friday and last night, Sunday.
And the Final Four, which we'll get to. Yeah, Saturday we had family over. My aunt, shout out to my Aunt Maria, made manicotti. I don't know if you...
It's the big noodle and it's stuffed,
with ricotta cheese.
Fire.
Bro.
Are they the really big, like almost cannoli
like
looking?
shotgun shell looking noodles.
With the and that manicotti on the inside, that cheese. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that ricotta cheese and...
Rigol. Isn't it rigol?
Ricotta cheese.
But we are.
You're not Italian.
We are
from Italy.
We actually are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she's got legit recipes from her grandparents, my great grandparents, who were in Sicily, I believe.
Okay.
Pretty sure came over from Sicily, Italy.
So you a gangster, bro.
Yeah.
Keep it tight.
Christian rolls deep and nobody even had a clue.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Some things you keep close to the vest. That's what I learned from my Italian mafia family.
Okay. Yeah.
All the women have hairy arms and mustaches in my family. It's true. That's legitimately true.
Like even the ones that live here in the States?
Well, is that why you got a mustache? Is that why you shaved it into a
Is that
mustache?
where my hair comes from? Is that what you're saying?
Is that where you why you have a mustache? Because all the women in your family have a mustache?
It's a dedication to all my.
I hope some of your aunts listen to this.
They will.
And just smack you down for it.
They all have
saying they got upper lip hair. You're crazy, brother. You can't say that. You can't say that in public place. doing that to the women in your family. This is wrong.
They all live in Phoenix. They'll be all right. A couple of them live here, but some of them live in Phoenix.
Wow.
They'll live.
He said they all have hairy arms and upper lip hair. He said mustache even. He didn't even say upper lip hair. Good Lord.
Little 5 o'clock shadow. Learn something new every day.
So you're saying you have a bunch of bearded ladies.
No, I didn't say beards. I said mustache.
So it's been a week since you've had this mustache. How is it feeling?
Oh, I meant to tell you guys about this. I think I found it. What? I think this is who I am supposed to be.
Why?
I think I've only been a mustache man for a week, but I feel like a mustache man.
I mean, I told you it looks like somewhat normal.
Yeah, but I hadn't owned it yet because we were only hours into the process. I feel like I've owned it now. I feel like I am a mustache.
But did you have any incidents that popped up? Did somebody talk about? Did anybody bring up your mustache?
I mean, yes, I've gotten a fair amount of compliments on it, which is reassuring. Obviously, 97% from men.
Okay.
But still, that'll make you feel good.
97% from men.
Yes.
Yeah. There's not gonna be a whole bunch of women like nice mustache. You have a great looking mustache.
No, the
great looking caterpillar above your top lip.
The few women that said something were women that are at my kickboxing gym, and they were like, "Have you always had that?" And I was like, "No, this is 1 day old." And that was.
But you are officially.
Yeah, I feel pretty distinguished as a mustache man.
Okay, so you're keeping it.
For
long term.
I mean, long term. Who knows? Like you see, I got the shadow going right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to keep that incorporated or if I want to keep it just clean mustache. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because this is a week of not shaving my other facial features other than the mustache.
Okay.
So we're gonna try some different.
Mine grows in a lot faster than that.
Your hair?
Yeah.
I mean, if
I shaved my chin, it would be back in a week.
I feel like that's pretty decent for a week.
No, that's all right. What do you got?
It's not anything to scoff at.
A little shadow, basically.
Yeah, a little shadow. That's all it is.
That's cool.
I mean, if I could grow a full beard, we've had this conversation, I'd be there, but it's just not. It's not in the. I mean, you see this, right? You see how patchy this is. It's just never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. But yes, me seeing the video last week, seeing the podcast last week, I was like, okay, it's not that bad, and it was much thicker than I expected. So I think Don Fry is kind of the goal.
Okay. Who's Don Fry? Can I look this up?
Look it up. Kenny should know who
Don Fry. Who's Don Fry?
He's a pioneer in mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Don Fry. With an E?
With an E, yes.
Don Fry. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
People.
I will post,
check out my brother Don Fry. You want that? Look at this.
Let me see.
Look at this.
That man has a duster.
Good Lord, brother. He doesn't have lips.
Yeah.
No.
He doesn't have lips.
That's a pretty good one.
See, because when I was in the shower, my shower, I can see myself while I'm in the shower in the mirror. That's the way our shower is. And I was kind of pulling one of these right here, Gabe. Pulling one of these in the shower. And I was like,
you're going to have to get some thickness to that thing. You're gonna have to get some hair growth serum.
And that's a thing. Like,
look at this, man.
Yeah, he's got a duster on him.
Duster.
Yeah, he could sweep the streets with that thing.
I think he could.
I think he could too. But see, that's the thing. I just don't know if I had the dedication.
See, but here's the issue though: is like I feel like if you get that,
yeah,
you're gonna be eating that thing every time you go.
That's
get a
the
meal.
thing. That's the thing. And I kind of like the clean cut look better. You know, like it just fit me having that is just I don't know.
If you get a mustache like that, I feel like you just make guy friends easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
it's way
It's
easy.
just so much respect.
If I was like a bigger
big,
person,
swole
like
dude
if I
with just a fat, huge mustache.
if I wasn't just so like spindly,
spindly,
wiry,
there you go.
Yeah, I'd probably get a lot more respect. But because I am, you know,
you have to get the mustache to compensate.
But it doesn't do the full extent, I don't think. But I don't know. I could come next week and have it trimmed back up because it does kind of get on my nerves. Like I already had to trim the edges and stuff, and that's annoying. Like usually
because you're chewing on it. You literally end up chewing on it.
Yeah, like I usually every week I take my 5 guard and knock it down, and then I don't have to worry about it in my mouth. But I didn't this week. Didn't shave it. Didn't touch it at all until right before I came here. Trimmed up the outskirts of it, and I was like, man, I just don't know. So we'll see. We're fluctuating, but I'm a fan of the stash. I got some. I mean, from the show, a lot of our Twitter followers, my Twitter followers, Bluff City Media, some people that work with us, I gained a fair amount of compliments.
I saw some negative.
I saw some negative.
Hey, you don't focus on the negative though, right?
I'm not.
If you spend your life focusing on the negative, you're just not going to be in a good mental space. So you only see the positive.
No, listen, I'm not saying that to say that
Anthony Sane said the negative of the negative.
He was. Anthony was disrespectful.
That was downright disrespectful.
What'd he say? Come on. I know what he said.
You know what he said. What he said. I know what he said. I saw you were tagged
what
in it, bro.
What movie is that though?
Me, Myself, and Irene.
Me, Myself, and Irene. Yeah, Jim Carrey. But yeah, that was really the only negative I saw.
Only Anthony Sane could say something like that, not get like what?
Yeah. But most
Come on,
people,
somebody say what he said. We can't just like say this and not have anything.
You say it.
No,
he's the one that said it to you.
Well, he basically said that it looks like you're about to tell people.
Tell
me that your kids are by a black man.
Hey, you gotta.
That kid, I was dead when he said. I don't even know the movie, and I started dying laughing.
You gotta watch the movie. It is. Jim Carrey is at his finest. Like it's pretty incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. The part where he's in the grocery store and he picks up the woman's
Vagisil.
The Vagiclean. What, you got a little extra cheese on your taco.
All right, I need to watch this actually. If that's a quote, yeah.
That is a quote. That is a quote
I'm
from
Me,
Myself,
Myself,
and
and Irene. There we go.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Okay, we digress.
You could have got me to a spit take if you would have said it.
If I would have said it.
Yeah, you've been trying to get a spit take.
Well, eventually
live.
we will. Eventually we will.
One day.
Okay, fellas.
Fellas.
Do we have anything else?
No, I think we're good.
That may go on
I think we're all right.
We can move on.
I think we're good.
Okay. All right, let's get into what the people actually care about, because I don't believe they care about our weekends or our
they do.
Facial feature.
Don't sell yourself
They
short.
love us. They love us. The people love us, especially Gabe. He brings in just the entire audience.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into a little bit of news that came out last week dealing with the transfer portal, because that is where we're at right now. It is transfer portal season, full swing, every day, transfer portal stuff. It's almost nauseating at this point already, but Memphis did land their first transfer portal addition, former Temple forward Nick Jourdain. What did you think of this addition?
Penny goes and gets guys that he's played against that killed him. Because I remember that game at Temple that we were worried about. 61-59. Kendrick puts in that crazy over the backboard
buzzer beater.
From the corner shot.
The Kawhi shot.
Win. Yeah, the Kawhi shot, except it didn't bounce around. It went right in. But Nick Jourdain was involved on every rebound,
had
tipping
21
it out
in
to
that
folks. No, he didn't. I think he had 16 and 10 was his final.
16 and 10.
But 16 and 10, hell.
His high for the season was 21.
Right, but 16 and 10, he brings a toughness factor to the front court that they need. His averages aren't overwhelming, but I'm telling you, game to game, this is a guy who can produce in the front court in a pretty substantial way. 6'8", 240 pounds, plays tough, can stretch out a little bit. Not much of a shooter, but he can space the floor for you and try to help you out that way. Put the ball on the ground a little bit, get to the rim. I like the pickup overall, but as a first commitment, it's fantastic. But they need to add. They just need to keep adding.
Yeah, I think so many people were expecting a banger off the rip. Like so many people wanted fill in the blank. So many people wanted Kello Ware off the rip. So many people wanted Caleb Love off the rip. And it's just like, it's about building it. And, okay, if there's not that splash edition, then if people want to complain, you can complain. But Nick Jourdain is a good, solid rotational guy that can help a team win. Is he a major needle mover that's going to take this team from, this is all hypothetical, but is he a guy that's, if this team was a fringe top 25 team going into the year and they got Nick Jourdain, would they be a automatic national championship contender? No. But he is a solid rotational guy, 6 points, 4 rebounds, nearly 2 assists, and a block a game. And as you mentioned, Penny saw him live and in person play one of his best games of the year, and he really takes into account production against his teams.
Here's the thing, though, man. Like, okay, maybe you wanted a Kello Ware off the top, but those guys are going to wait because they have so many different offers. Nick Jourdain, I can say this about the guy. I have watched him play. I've seen what he did for Temple. That's a winning basketball player with a lot of experience. And that's all. I mean, in the end of the day, that's what Penny tried to get last year. That's what he started this transfer class with. And I think that's an overwhelming positive. He doesn't need the big name, crazy, needle-moving names. He just needs guys that can go out there and produce for him and make winning plays. And I think Nick Jourdain fills that for him.
Can I ask you a question? Christian, you said something a few minutes ago about Nick Jourdain, you wanted somebody that immediately off the rip could take the team from a first weekend NCAA tournament team to a deep run NCAA tournament team. Is there, or you even said national championship contender, is there a guy out there in the transfer portal that you think could be that guy? That the Tigers are in on right now, like those big splashes that you're talking about, because I don't
know if there is, because I feel like the overwhelming answer here for most people would be Caleb Love, because he's one of the most productive guys.
You like Jameer Nelson Jr., but he went to TCU.
He went to TCU. Yeah, he did. But I feel like a lot of people would say Caleb Love because he played at North Carolina, obviously national championship last year with them. But it's like, does he make you a national championship contender?
He's a chucker.
Right. Because
he can score for you.
Because that team didn't even go to the tournament this year with, Caleb Love and Armando Bacot.
I think there are definitely guys out there like that,
I think there are guys that can. Yes.
Jalen Cook, for example.
Yes.
I think that's a guy that would put you over the top.
But there's not
Ace Baldwin, who I love from VCU, dude. Like if Penny could get involved with him, which I know he'll have a hell of a recruitment, he's going to be getting some real.
Right.
He'll make anybody better in the country because he distributes at a high level and still scores 13 points per game. Like that's a guy I think would be a substantial needle mover by himself, almost Kendrick Davis-esque.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
there's some guys like that.
There are. But I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult to gauge that because you mentioned a guy like Jalen Cook and Tulane. Tulane didn't even make the NIT.
Yeah,
right?
but
and I get
it's surrounding pieces
right.
too.
I get the argument of it, but I don't think there's just one singular guy where you can just be like, if you get this guy, you're immediately a contender.
Yeah, you need more.
You need more.
Yeah,
which is why I think the Nick Jourdain pickup is a big deal because he fits a need that the Tigers are
100%.
absolutely.
I totally agree.
Agree.
These are Nick Jourdain, players like Nick Jourdain are the kind of players every team needs to win.
Winning ball players. That's what you need.
He's a buy-in type of guy. He's a guy that's unselfish, and he's going to come in, and he's going to do what is asked of him from Penny Hardaway and the staff. He's going to immediately buy in to what he's asked to do and fill the role that he's asked to fill. And that's what we saw from last year. That's what Penny and the staff want. Guys that are going to come in and fill the roles that they want them to.
I guess if we're asking the question, if you had a one-person class, person that puts you over the top, no, I don't think you can have a one-person class in today's day and age of transfer portal and college basketball. You need to turn over the roster quickly. That's how you go win, and that's how you go get experience to put you over the top. But I think there are guys if you add them to a bunch of guys like Nick Jourdain that really do. I mean, last year was Kendrick Davis, main focal point, and then Elijah McCadden and Demario Franklin and Keontae Kennedy, like guys that theoretically were winning basketball players that you could sort of plug and play.
Let me ask y'all this. I think you when Kendrick Davis came to Memphis, the talk around it was, wait till you see what we're about to build here. And it felt like every time after, like as it was moving, as other guys were coming into the transfer portal, committing somewhere else, Penny's missing on some guys. Like some of these guys aren't coming that we thought would come. I think legitimately Nick Jourdain might be as good of a pickup as anybody other than Kendrick Davis that he had on the team last year in the transfer portal.
Yeah, I think you can liken him to a front court Keontae Kennedy.
Yep, that's
a
exactly
front court Elijah McCadden, whatever it is. Like, no, I agree with that sentiment. But you need to add on top of it.
No, 1,000%. I'm just saying, like, it felt like he got Kendrick, and then it was just there's not a lot more pieces that were being added that were difference makers. Nick Jourdain is a difference maker in the front court.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Now, here's my thing, though. Now they have Chandler and him, and if Malco decides to come back, which I don't know where he's leaning. I don't know if anybody knows where he's leaning. But let's just operate off the assumption in the front court it's going to be those two guys, J.J. Taylor, and basically that's it. That's all we're looking at.
Right.
I still think they need just that immovable big. Yep. Like Kelly Ware would be like the peak of what you could get there. But just a experienced 6'10", big center who could just go. It could be a double-digit rebounder game to game. Like that would be so useful for this team.
Yeah, and we'll see.
They lost out on Eddie Lampkin, which is a guy who they were reaching out to early.
Going
he
to Colorado.
Going to Colorado.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because that's what you know how people get in these situations. Like you get so blinded by what's happening right now.
Yep.
And it's like before Nick Jourdain committed, no one even knew that he was in Memphis on a visit.
Right. Yeah. No.
So it's
was surprising.
This stuff comes out of nowhere. Like there will be people, there will be players that tell people they're coming on campus. You see people tweeting about this player will be here, this player will be here. Some players just don't talk to people.
Let me ask you this, because we have 3 visitors this week, right? 4. Okay, you can add the 4th because I only have 3 right here listed. So you're going to have Mustapha Amzil from Dayton, the guy I mentioned last week.
Yep.
You're going to have Quez Glover on Friday.
Yep.
Caleb Mills on Thursday.
Teafale Leonard.
And Teafale Leonard. That's the one I was missing.
Yep.
Do you think there's a commitment out of those visits? Hard to tell. But that's 4. That's 4 separate visitors.
Just on a guess, probably.
Okay.
Just on a guess, probably. I don't really, I know people love to have inside information, but I really don't even have anything crazy on that. I just feel like it's hard for people to come to Memphis on visits, meet with this staff, meet Penny Hardaway, see the facility, and not just be like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, more than likely, yes. Would you like it to be Caleb Mills?
Yes. Hell yes, 100%.
But yeah, it is. Let's get into that a little bit because this is a big weekend. As you mentioned, I'm going to run them off one more time. Florida State transfer Caleb Mills, Samford transfer Quez Glover, Dayton transfer Mustapha Amzil, and Middle Tennessee transfer Teafale Leonard. So we've got Caleb Mills, what would you classify him as? A 1-2.
He's a combo guard.
Combo guard.
But you can't bring up Caleb Mills and not bring up the track record. AAC all-freshman team with Houston, 13 points per game as a freshman, averaged around the same last year against FSU, even though they sucked. They were terrible.
He was there for 2 years.
But last year especially, they were awful.
Oh, they were horrible.
They were just miserable.
Absolutely.
And he's not an unbelievable three-point shooter, but he's a decent ball handler and a good okay table setter. He can handle on-ball duties.
He's so smooth,
and he's decent.
Man.
He's decent at going and finding a shot in the mid-range and getting to the rim.
That's what always impressed me about him when he was at Houston. Yeah, he's just so smooth, man.
He's a very good offensive player.
He's just a technician. Like he's never out of position. He always has his body under control. He's He's not a superstar. He's just a really freaking solid college basketball player.
I think with this team, though, in particular, and obviously we'd have to see what the freshmen do. I mean, he'd be one of their leading scorers.
Absolutely.
Top 2 leading
Top
scorers.
2, yeah, of course.
Immediately when you put him on the roster.
I just think he's a really good basketball player. Quez Glover, I know some people have been like, okay, what's the deal with this guy? Because I'm pretty sure he's a point guard, correct?
Hardcore, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
He's a point guard.
He's one. He's on ball. Yep.
And so I've seen some people question his assists because he only had 2.1 a game last year. Sometimes you have to peel back. Okay, so let's look. So last year, he averaged 14.7, 2.5, and 2.1. If you go back to the previous year, 2021, 2022.
You could call that his junior year. I know that we have COVID years, but you can call that his junior year.
19.2, so 4 more points a game nearly. 4.4 assists, almost 2.5 assists more a game. And 2.8 rebounds, which is around the same. But it's just like you have to look a little bit deeper on that. I mean, he averaged basically 20 and 5 2 years ago.
You can also, Samford's in the Southern Conference,
yes.
Okay? But at the same time, they were competing for the regular season they won the regular season championship last year. Like he was the table setter on one of the best, if not the best teams
in SoCon.
in that conference. So
Yep.
like whatever, man. Like you can try to pick through the stats all you want. He's a good ball player.
Good ball player.
And also, he fits that need of veteran point guard
Yeah.
for you right now. And they could help Mikey Williams come along, could help some of these backcourt members come along. So, I mean, there's no reason to shoot him down at all.
100%. Mustapha Amzil averaged 9.3, 4.8, and 1.7.
He can stretch the floor.
He can stretch the floor, probably more of a 4 than a 3, in my opinion, more of a power forward than a small forward. But I like his game. He's a good rebounder, can score, can have like some outburst games where he puts up between 15 and 20. Just another solid play. I mean, really the guys that are coming on campus over the weekend, none of these are those headline grabbers for the most part.
Mustapha Amzil is a guy I brought up last week.
Right.
Like 6'10", 220, shoots 37% from 3,
Right.
5 rebounds per game. Why would you not want a guy like that? And has been at an unbelievable mid-major his entire career at Dayton.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, none of these dudes are major headline grabbers outside of maybe Caleb Mills because he's been around for a long time and at 2 prestigious programs. But these are everyone that's on campus this weekend, and these are the only confirmed ones right now. I'm sure, at some point there could be other ones pop up. There could be some surprise ones that we don't hear about until afterwards,
Nick Jourdain,
whatever.
When we had no idea.
No one had any clue. But these are all really good basketball players. And Teafale Leonard, he might be my favorite out of the ones that's coming.
I see. I haven't gotten to study up on him.
Okay, so 8.3 points per game, 4 rebounds, nearly 2 assists per game. So nothing majorly.
Bigger wing is what he is?
Yeah, bigger wing, 6 foot. Well, really played the 2 and the 3.
Okay.
But he is an incredible defensive player.
That's what you need.
I've seen some analysts say that he's a top 5 defensive player in the transfer portal right now. And you know how rankings are, man. There's so much discrepancy. There's so much nuance to them. So if you look around all these different recruiting services and their rankings, I think in 247s he's maybe outside of the top 100. I'm not 100% on that, but he's not high. But if you look at On 3, he is number 25 overall in the transfer portal rankings. Yeah. Because of how good he is defensively and how athletic he is.
He was an all-defensive guy in Conference USA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good ball player, man. Like I said, some people aren't as high on him. Like 247, obviously not. But On 3 literally has him as a top 25 transfer. For comparison, they have Caleb Mills at 60.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, they view him very highly at On 3. So,
and for him, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if he was a JUCO guy or whatever, but he has a few years of eligibility left, right? 2 or 3?
I think he has 2 left.
2 left. So, like, some of these guys, like Nick Jourdain has 2 left. Like, some of these guys are not like we were dealing with last year where it was one and done.
Right.
Like, some of these guys could stay on campus for a couple of years, which is an overwhelming positive in my opinion.
And what's the case with Caleb Mills? As a grad transfer, would he be good to go immediately, or would he have to file for a waiver? Because he transferred from Houston.
But he's graduating, right?
But he's graduating.
Yeah, no, he's immediately eligible.
He's immediate? Okay. That's what I thought. I just I mean you know
because
how it is
one-time
nowadays.
transfer rule didn't waive the whole graduate transfer rule.
Right. Didn't change
if you graduate, you're free to go.
That's what I thought. I just everything right now is like everyone's on such a different wavelength on what the rules are. That's what I thought. I just wanted to clarify for myself.
And see, I have to clarify with y'all. Like I wasn't fully familiar with it, but if you've transferred once, I think it's one-time transfer.
Right.
And then,
but you're a grad
transfer.
After
that, grad transfer, same rules.
Same as it has been.
Yeah.
So it is a big weekend. 100%. No doubt, big weekend. Got some big guys on campus. Once again, I know they may not be Caleb Love and Kelly Ware, but these are really freaking good basketball players. Like I said, Caleb Mills is a needle mover, I believe. Yeah. I think all these guys could make a case for a needle mover. Some bigger than others.
I think Quez Glover's a good ball player.
I think Quez is good too. And like I said, I think I'm the highest on Teafale Leonard out of any of these guys. Yeah. So, and I like Mustapha Amzil's game a lot too. Like I think these guys are needle movers to different extents.
Yeah.
Obviously to different extents. Some play, more important positions than others, and some have had better careers than others up to this point. But I think this is a really good weekend as of today. Obviously, this will come out on Tuesday morning, so who knows? Tuesday afternoon, so other stuff could be happening. But as of right now, as we sit right now, 8 o'clock on Monday night, I love this list. I think this is a big weekend for the program, and obviously we'll see what comes of it.
Yeah, so obviously outside of the adding these transfers to the fold, I think the question you have going into next year, and it's a fair question, like based on the past, is like, okay, you have a 5 or 6 man class that you're going to bring in as far as high schoolers are concerned, and now you're back to recruiting the high level high schoolers in J.J. Taylor and Mikey Williams. If you're Penny Hardaway, I think it's fair if the fans question it. How do you make those guys mesh with the older transfers? Like how do you handle that this time around? But I think Penny has passed these tests at least last year and then coming into this year, and we'll see how it works. But I think of all of the questions,
make them earn it.
Questions, like I'm not questioning, is he going to add a lot through the transfer portal?
Right.
I think he will. But when this is all said and done, all these names we brought up, I think he'll bring in a few guys. That's not a question to me. The only question is just getting them to gel with these higher ranked high school recruits and how that goes. And I think making them earn it is something he's definitely going to take to heart, but we'll see. I think it's fair to have questions about it, the point I'm making.
I agree. Speaking of making them earn it, I'm going to make Kenny earn this intro to the Hot 3 as we send it off to hear a word from our sponsors. And on the other side, we'll be back with the Hot 3. What's up, guys? I'm so excited to announce that we have partnered with Coaching for Literacy, and you can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your subscription to Bluff City NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. Thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
I'm just not feeling the air horns today, guys.
Okay, that's fine.
This is just not an air horn song to me, I don't think.
Dude, okay.
We're switching the song up a little bit.
Do what you gotta do, brother. Do what you gotta do.
Y'all okay with the no air horns?
That's Gabe's thing.
I'm fine. You got it. It's
All
cool.
right. Well, hey, listen. In honor of the new song for our Hot 3, we're going to be doing a Hot 3 plus 1.
Okay.
Right, Christian?
Hot 3 and 1.
Oh, Hot 3 and 1. And 1, baby.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. You boys ready?
Yep.
Let me find my list. I asked you if y'all ready.
King of prep,
ready.
Kenny Stubblefield.
Yeah.
Look,
He's on top of it always.
I got the list, but come on. All right, so I mean, it's literally 8:30 on Monday night. I got the game on right here. The championship game, UConn versus San Diego.
What do they call San Diego? What's the other name for it?
The Aztecs.
Come on.
San Diego.
Never seen Anchorman?
Yeah. Saint Domingo.
Come on.
Doesn't he say that?
Saint Diego. He says, I think it stands for Saint Diego, but what is it?
I thought he said Saint Domingo.
It stands for Wales Hoo-Ha.
All right. So,
Are you guys brain dead right now?
No.
You never seen Anchorman
Yes,
when
I've
he
seen
says that?
Anchorman 100 times.
You've never heard.
Yes. I'm with you. I'm with
okay,
you.
all right.
I'm with you.
I was about to lose it.
all right. So we got the
kind of do have the Anchorman stash going.
Ron Burgundy. Anyway, so we have the championship game going on right now. Last week, while we were recording, it was the Final Four. Obviously, San Diego State beat FAU at the buzzer.
That was sweet.
And then UConn just does what UConn does and
They
beat.
just do's what they do.
They do's what they do's and beat Miami by double digits. So, what were y'all's thoughts on last week's game? And as we are watching, obviously we're not going to preview the championship game because it's going on right now. But what are y'all's thoughts?
Let's start with FAU and Dessous.
What?
FAU and SDSU.
Oh.
What do you got? Lamont Butler, that was sweet.
Yeah, let's not get into the weeds on these because literally no one's going to care about this tomorrow because that's happening right now. But yeah,
Lamont Butler, we care about that.
Ice in his veins, they'll care about that because that shot will live on forever. That'll be his legacy forever. Moving on to the championship game with a buzzer beater. I know a lot of Memphis fans felt good about the way that FAU lost. It felt like retribution to a lot of Memphis fans.
Dude, some of those calls late were pretty trash.
Yep, and
Like,
a lot of Memphis fans like that too.
Vlad Golden had the cleanest block I had ever seen, and they called a foul. And then I think it was Elijah Martin. Who's the dude from San Diego State? I'm losing my mind right now. Matt Bradley.
Yep.
Elijah Martin met him at the rim, and he didn't touch him. It looked
Oh,
like
when
he was about to go body
when
him.
he came down.
It looked like he was about to put his body into him, but he avoided contact
Yeah.
altogether, and they called a. They still called a 2-shot foul.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Pretty
was
rough at the end.
It was a
for
fun
FAU.
game.
But going through my mind the whole time is FAU's really going to do this.
Yeah. Oh, same.
Like,
Same.
no
Like,
chance.
wow, they're
Like
actually,
getting to the Final Four is unbelievable, but getting to
going
the,
to the
national
national
championship,
yeah.
my God, FAU almost did it.
And Elijah Martin is nasty, by the way.
Yeah,
Elijah Martin and John L. Davis deserve a ton of credit for
Yeah.
getting that team to the Final Four. But yeah, that was fun. And then UConn and Miami
Not
was
so fun.
not fun.
no,
Was their average margin of victory in the tournament? Was it
it's
20.6?
ridiculous. They're. I just know that 13 was the closest game they played against
Yeah.
Miami. Miami tried.
They gave
No
it
one
their
else
best
can
shot.
come close. They gave it their best shot. It is what it is.
And that's the crazy thing.
I think they need their flowers for this run they made. I mean, they had to go. They had to
they had
really
a gauntlet. They
go.
had a gauntlet.
They had to go. Drake, who people thought were going to upset him in the first round.
Yep.
Then they had to beat Indiana, 4 seed, 1 seed in Houston, 2 seed against Texas. And you just ran into a buzzsaw. It's just how it works sometimes.
The buzzsaw of all buzzsaws right now, UConn. Yeah, the whole time we talked about Miami scoring, they put up 59 points.
I do have to bring this up. Okay, Adama Sanogo's unbelievable. 21-10 in that game. Donovan Klingon's a first-round pick. That's a first-round pick. The backup center, nothing falls off when he comes on the floor. 7'2", 265 pounds. He's unbelievable on the defensive end. He runs the floor well. He's good around the rim. I brought this up today on the show. Like sort of Walker Kessler type guy.
Yeah.
There, and he's going to get featured prominently next year. That's a first-round pick to me. I don't know how you don't take him in the first round. Maybe not a lottery guy, but definitely a first-round pick like Walker Kessler.
Yeah, just a fun team. Adama Sanogo, undoubtedly tournament, most outstanding player in the tournament.
Yeah, I would say so.
Should be a shoe-in. Another double-double for him, 21-10 in the Final Four game. Jordan Hawkins continued to play well. Tristan Newton continued to play well.
What trips me out about them, too, is like, okay, yeah, offensively they're great. They can beat you inside, outside, driving to the rim, however they want to. And they share the ball well. But defensively, man, they are disruptive as hell.
Yep.
Getting into passing lanes, knocking balls away.
They have a lot of positionless guys that can kind of play anywhere and do a lot of different things defensively, and it just
Didn't you kind of
works
also?
perfectly.
Was that the first half where Adama Sanogo hit 2 back-to-back threes?
Yeah.
He said like that. That was the point where I'm like, "There's no way Miami's winning
Not
this game."
happening. What's the score right now?
It is 10-10 with 14 minutes left in the first half. So tomorrow, when everybody hears this on Tuesday morning, UConn will have ended up winning the national championship.
Oh,
You're calling your shot.
I'm calling the shot right now.
Declaration.
A declaration of sorts.
Shooting down Brian Dutcher, good old Brian Dutcher from San Diego State.
It's a good story, but yes, UConn will win this game. Sunoco just hit somebody with it too small.
Was that Sanogo or was that the backup center?
I think that was Sonogo.
I think that was the backup center. No, that was Sonogo.
Yeah. Sonogo. Hey, by the way, how do you mix up Sonogo and the backup center?
The backup center's white.
Oh, is he?
Well, very white, yes. Yeah. No.
It bees like that sometimes.
There's no way you could mix those two up. They're about the same height. They're close.
Let me brush
6'10" to 7'2". It's close enough.
Let me ask y'all this.
He is very white.
Yes, Donovan Clingan is a white man. Yes.
Is white.
Nice.
Hey, there's the backup center
hey,
right there.
Hey, sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. I see him now.
So, speaking of hit or misses, what was this tournament like for y'all? It's over now. Yeah. What's this tournament been like for y'all? Has it been a hit or has it been a miss?
I mean, I would say it's one of the most memorable tournaments of all time.
For me, for like real college basketball fans, for sure. For casuals, whatever. I don't give a damn.
They stopped caring a long
time
ago.
But no, the parity that was on display was college basketball at its finest this year. And the teams that were the best won. The teams, not just like individual
players.
Teams, the best teams won. The most well put together teams.
And that played the best once the tournament started. They won out every time.
It was fun for me. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
What if y'all could give me, both of y'all combined, give me your top 5 players from the tournament all together this year?
Together? We're doing it together.
Adama Sanogo is number one.
Yeah.
Marquise Noel's number 2.
Marquise Noel. Who else? That's tough.
That is.
It's got to be Elijah.
Yeah, probably Elijah Morton.
See, Miami's tough. I want to pick somebody from Miami, but they had a bunch of dudes. They traded off. Isaiah Wong, Nigel Pack.
Probably Isaiah Wong, if anyone from Miami. Nigel Pack. I mean, either one of them. We'll go Isaiah Wong / Nigel Pack.
Do we give a shout out to Drew Timme in his final appearance here in the tournament?
Played well.
We'll tip it. We'll tip the cap. We'll put Drew Timme in there.
There's got to be somebody we're probably forgetting.
Like,
what was the elite? Who was in the Elite Eight?
Who was in the Elite Eight?
Yeah.
Elite Eight would have been FAU, Kansas State, UConn, Gonzaga, Creighton, San Diego State, Miami, Texas. See, Texas, sort of wipe it. Creighton, I sort of wipe it. Matt Bradley, I guess you could make a case for San Diego State, but they defensively were locked in the whole time. I think you give Drew Timme
a shout.
For
his final.
Marquise Noel, Drew Timme. Let's go no particular order.
Okay.
Drew Timme, Marquise Noel,
Adama
Sanogo. You put in did you say Isaiah Wong?
Nigel Pack, Isaiah Wong combined.
Yeah. And then
Elijah Martin.
There Let's
you
just
go.
do that.
That's a good 5.
Teams that made it the farthest.
We don't have to put them in any particular order, but Adama Sanogo is number 1.
Is one. Yeah, he's MOP.
All right, Kenny, move us
Next.
Let me turn my mic on. Here we go. All right, guys, it's NFL draft's coming up. I sent you a link. ESPN dropped their top 15 ranking of quarterbacks for the 2023 NFL draft. It's coming up soon, boys.
3.5 weeks.
3.5 weeks. Run through the if
list.
you want to do all 15, you can, but whatever you think.
What do you want to focus on? The top 5, Gabe?
Top 5, top 10. That's cool.
All right. We'll go. I'll list the top 10, but we'll probably only talk about the top 5. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, Hendon Hooker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
That's crazy to me.
Agreed. Jake Hayner, Tanner McKee, Stetson Bennett, Aiden O'Connell. Top 10.
You should drop DTR like right there by Stetson in my opinion.
I agree. Probably lower.
He's not an NFL quarterback.
No.
I'm sorry.
He would just never panned out well in college.
No, he was good his last couple of years.
His last 2
once he
years.
got with Chip.
Right. It took him forever to
as
be
an NFL
productive.
guy?
No.
Come on, man. He ran the ball a lot, and I don't know.
1 and 2.
I can't buy it.
1 and 2, no arguments there.
No.
Bryce Young 1. CJ
I'm a
Stroud
Bryce
2.
Young guy, although CJ Stroud's probably going to be the number 1 pick to the Panthers.
I think you could say 1A and 1B. I would put Bryce Young slightly ahead of CJ Stroud.
Anthony Richardson, Will Levis. I'm not buying into it, but that's just what it's going to be.
Hendon Hooker should be at 3. I mean, Hendon Hooker is the 3rd best quarterback in this draft. I don't care that he doesn't have the athletic upside of Anthony Richardson and he doesn't have the cannon of Will
25.
Levis. I don't care that he's 25. I don't care that he tore his ACL. if you just watch the game, if you turned on side by side film of Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, and Hendon Hooker and said, you took the jerseys off of them, you took everything off them, you just straight watch the players, you would take Hendon Hooker over those two guys all day, and it wouldn't even be remotely close. And I think everyone is overthinking this, and I think NFL GMs overthink this, and I think it's absurd.
They always overthink these things, man. They're trying to project it out, and they think they can fix anybody who's broken, right? Yeah. Like they think that they can make Anthony Richardson into a pocket passer and that type of thing, and maybe they can, but he has to get with the right guys. But they have this unfounded sort of pride and this confidence about them that they can turn everything from, they can polish a turd and make somebody into the next Peyton Manning. You know what I mean? Like they think that they can do that, but I agree with you on the surface too. Like what's weird about the Hendon Hooker conversation is I think you shoot him down, screw the ACL, throw the ACL thing out there because wait a second.
Before you get into this, let me read these two paragraphs that are in this article. Hooker tore the ACL in his left knee in November, which makes him an interesting case. I don't understand that makes him an interesting case, but whatever. How will teams weigh the injury and recovery? We heard positive medical reports regarding his recovery at the Combine, and he's expected to be ready by NFL training camp.
It's ACL,
So there you go right there. Expected to be ready by training camp. Hooker experienced a career resurgence since transferring from Virginia Tech following the 2020 season, but how effective can he be outside of Josh Heupel's simulated offense? Another point to know, considering Hooker will be a 25-year-old rookie in the NFL, age will be a constant talking point here too. According to ESPN Stats and Info, only 8 quarterbacks have been drafted at 25 years old, 25 years old or older, and only 3 were selected prior to the 6th round. Let me poo on all these points real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So they started with the ACL talk, followed that up with he'll be ready by training camp.
We know that
X that out.
Yes, we
Doesn't
know that
matter.
He'll figure it out.
How effective can he be outside of Josh Heupel's simulated offense? Look at me for a second. How effective was Will Levis at Kentucky? Not very effective. How effective was Anthony Richardson at Florida? He didn't throw a touchdown for 6 or 7 games. Not very effective. Hendon Hooker threw 6 interceptions and 63 touchdowns in 2 years. How stupid can we be, man?
I don't know. We overthink things. Keep going. You want to keep pooing on these points?
Yeah, I got one more. Considering Hooker will be 25 years old, you made this point to me, and thank you. Kenny Pickett was a first-round pick last year, and he was 24, and he wasn't. I don't think he's nearly as good as Hendon Hooker. Brandon Weeden at one point was a 28-year-old rookie who was a first-round pick.
Late first round.
Stunk.
He was horrible.
Stunk.
And here's the thing. Okay, you talk about the simulated offense, and I'll listen. To a certain extent.
Yes.
I'll buy into Heupel, and you could even, but here's the other thing. You got to be confused by Jalen Hyatt, too. If you're going to do that. And no one seems to be all that confused by Jalen Hyatt. He's fast. He's a deep threat, yada, yada, yada. But, yes, they have max splits. Yes, they create a lot of diversions for the defensive backs to follow, and none of them can. The only team that could last year was Georgia.
Right.
Like, I get that there's a lot of things about that offense that don't lend themselves to pro football. I get that. Some of the route combinations, though, do. Some of the route combinations work in the NFL.
Yeah, scissors combinations are never ran in the NFL,
yeah, exactly.
right?
Like,
they never run posts and corners.
Do we realize that some of the concepts that Josh Heupel has run with some of that the air raid concepts have infiltrated the NFL in a huge way. A huge way. So, like, I get it to a certain extent with the max splits and it's the college level and he's throwing deep balls. But he's very accurate with his deep balls if you watched him last year. And here's my other thing. You talk about the system all you want. Why are we throwing out the physical attribute conversation when it comes to Hendon Hooker? He's 6'4", he's 220, he ran for 600 yards. If he was healthy enough to run if his ACL was intact, he's running a 4.6, very low 4.7, maybe even lower than that. He ran for 600 yards.
Right.
He's got a rocket for an arm. He's pretty accurate with that rocket for an arm. And then you add the production, and it's like, okay, this is ridiculous to me. Why is the physical attribute conversation out of the question with Hendon Hooker.
Everything matters with him except the production.
Production and the attributes, man. He's got what it takes.
Yeah, he's got
the attributes that a lot of people always talk about wanting in a quarterback. He is 6'4", 220, and he can run, and he's got a good arm.
The last 2 years.
He's got everything. If he would have tested, he would have tested well. I just don't get why everybody's sort of ignoring that part of it.
2 years at Tennessee, 6,000 yards.
58 to 5.
58 and 5 with a quick incorrect math, but like 68.8% completion percentage.
Right. I just don't get it, man.
Stupid.
I don't understand.
It's so stupid.
But
man.
like, of all of the conversations we have with him, okay, you can talk about Heupel's offense. Sure, you can talk about I guess ACL, I don't think you can really talk about. You can talk about the offense.
The age.
You can talk about the age, but like I just don't know why we're throwing out every bit of physical attribute, all the attributes he possesses.
Quarterbacks play until they're 35 or 40. Why does him being 2 years older matter?
All of his positives, they've just sort of thrown to the side.
Yeah.
And been like, well, he's hurt and he's 25. It's like, well, okay.
Yeah,
wow.
And Pat McAfee.
That doesn't seem fair.
Pat McAfee's done an incredible job of hyping up Hendon Hooker. Pat McAfee is like the only and I'm sure there are other ones, but Pat McAfee's like the only talk show media type guy that has said anything positive about Hendon Hooker. They've been like, "What? Why is this guy not being talked about?" We're talking about Will Levis, who really sucked the majority of his career at Kentucky in the same conference that Hendon Hooker only threw 5 interceptions against, 6,000 yards and nearly 60 passing touchdowns. Will Levis couldn't do anything.
We're gonna do something fun here.
Okay.
Pull up. So you said, pull up Anthony Richardson's stats real quick.
Okay.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a blind resume, TD to INT. That's what we're gonna do over the past 2 years.
Okay.
Right. Let's do this. So
just
Will Levis,
just the last 2 years.
Will Levis is 43 and 23 TD to INT over the past 2 years.
43 to 23.
43 to 23. Anthony Richardson is what?
23 to 14.
23 to 14. And Hendon Hooker over the last 2 years, 58 to 5.
And we're saying one guy could go in the second or third round. The other two are top 5 picks.
that is the definition of overthinking things.
And it would be different.
And I know that's not the whole story, right? But
I get it. But look, like it would be different if Hendon Hooker was Trey Lance, right, and played D2 ball or whatever.
Or 1AA.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect North Dakota State.
You know what I meant. You know what I meant.
You know I almost committed to Southern Illinois Carbondale.
Anyway, C-Lou. Anyway, it's not the difference between playing at North Dakota State and in the SEC. All 3 of these guys played in the same conference for the same 2 years.
Yes.
2 of them were really irrelevant. Will Levis was never good at Kentucky. He always showed flashes.
He was good his junior year.
But
he was good.
But still like this.
Yeah.
He was never consistent. No one was ever
He couldn't beat out Sean Clifford.
Right. No one was ever saying Will Levis was a top 3 quarterback in the SEC the last 2 years.
Hendon Hooker easily. Hendon Hooker was 5th in Heisman voting.
Right.
But again, all of this said, you go after Levis and Anthony Richardson for their physical attributes. And I get that Anthony Richardson's 21, so like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Will Levis is like 23, 24.
23, yeah.
But like we've thrown out the physical attribute conversation completely with Hendon Hooker, who's 6'4", 220, runs about the same.
Would probably run a 4.5.
Yeah, like what? I don't get it. I don't get it. It's beyond me.
Maybe we'll be wrong.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, we still got 2 more points to hit. Kenny, what's number 3?
Y'all went in on. I knew that one was going to be a big one for you. All right, so I think this week we've got the rest of the regular season in the NBA, and then playoffs start. So the Grizzlies are right now locked. It looks like in the number 2 seed. Kind of preview some of those. I read this earlier. I think that from the 5 seed down to the 11 seed in the Western Conference, just like one game in between.
Right.
All of them.
No, not anymore.
It's
still 4.
It's like 3 or 4.
It's
games.
still 4, but it was there for a while. The big story is from 5 to 8. Every single team from 5 to 8 has 38 losses.
So
they could theoretically be tied.
So this week is going to be a big week, not only for the Grizzlies to try to figure out some of their road situation stuff because of the playoffs coming up, but just a lot of the seeding that's going on within the
Western Conference.
the Western Conference, play in and all that kind of stuff. Who do you guys? What are some of the matchups that? Who would you want the Grizzlies to play in that first round?
Pelicans, no doubt. That's the team I'd want them to play.
Over the Timberwolves.
Well, but Timberwolves are a game and a half back, so they have to climb back up in it with 3 games left.
So you're saying basically between the Lakers
if we're
and
talking
the
about the
Pelicans,
4 teams that are 38 losses,
okay, so
they could play in and out here in the next couple of games.
The Clippers, the Warriors, the Lakers.
If
and the
I'm
Pelicans.
ranking them,
yeah,
you want the Pelicans first.
Yep, I agree.
You're going to lose your mind when I say
You're
this.
gonna say the Warriors.
I'm going to say Warriors second, Clippers third. I don't want the Lakers. Lakers look good right now. Austin Reeves playing at a high level. D'Angelo Russell back healthy. AD is going for 35 and 15 like it's going out of style. LeBron looks healthy again. They have a decent bench. I think you want to avoid the Lakers. I really do.
I want to avoid the Lakers.
I swear, man. Like, I don't. Is there a stat out there? Can he look this up for me? I believe, I'm pretty positive that when AD and LeBron have been on the floor at the same time for playoff series, they've never lost a playoff series with AD and LeBron on the floor.
That's
wrong.
That's probably true.
But obviously, they probably had it for a couple games, and somebody got hurt. AD got hurt,
Right.
in one of them. But like when they have been healthy for an entire series, they've never lost one.
All right, so call your shot. Let's just have fun with it. Call your shot. Who do you think it is going to be in the first round for the Grizzlies?
That's not a fair question.
It's fun.
See, 4 teams with 38 lives.
It's fun. Just give me a little bit.
All right, let's say. I think ultimately, let's see. Let's look at the remaining schedule.
I'll give you mine.
Go.
I'll give you mine.
This is who you think the draw will be.
This is what I.
They have to win the first play-in game if they're in the 7-8 matchup, and they'd be in the 7 spot.
Yes. I think the play-in game is going to be the Pelicans and the Warriors in the play-in game. I think the Lakers are going to get the 5 seed. I think the Lakers are going to jump up to the 5 seed. I think the Clippers will be the 6 seed. And I think the Grizzlies will play the Warriors in the first round.
You know what? I don't mind.
I would rather play the Warriors than the Lakers.
I think that's pretty solid. I also think, in the grand scheme of things, the Clippers, they have 3 games left, if I'm not mistaken. Lakers, Trailblazers, at Suns to end the year. If the Clippers sort of mess around, and it almost felt like they wanted to fall back down with what they did with the Grizzlies on Friday night. Yeah. Like they didn't play Kawhi or what's his name, Eric Gordon, the whole second half.
Yeah,
like it almost felt like they want to fall down so they can either play the Kings or the Grizzlies.
They don't want to play the Suns.
No one
wants to play the Suns.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess the Clippers could try to fall themselves out of there.
They could. I just see the Warriors matchup coming.
You know what? I don't mind that matchup. Dude.
I think
Wiggins is coming back though.
Yeah,
but that doesn't change it that much for me.
No, I think that's legitimately. I think that's a series the Grizzlies could win in 6.
So
if they play the Lakers, I'd be more scared.
Yes, the reasons that I think this year's Grizzlies Warriors matchup is different is because the Warriors are 22nd in net rating with their bench, so their bench stinks. Defensively, they're middle of the pack, and they've been top 10 just about every year they've won a championship. Like their past weighs on your head.
Yeah,
that's all. You have to get over the mental aspect.
And I just don't think the Grizzlies will be rattled by that.
Getting Steven Adams back would be big for that series too.
Agreed. Just because they don't have anyone that can match up with that.
I don't think. And yeah, Andrew Wiggins could do some of this, but I don't know if they have enough guy. And Gary Payton II, but he comes off the bench, and you don't know
just defensively.
I don't know if they have the perimeter defense to really keep up with John Morant and Dez and Luke Kennard out there on the edge the whole game. And I think, and this is up to Jaren staying out of foul trouble because Draymond does a good job of historically getting Jaren into foul trouble. Right. I don't think that the Warriors have a natural matchup for Jaren Jackson Jr. when the Grizzlies are on offense.
No.
They don't have a natural one, but if he gets into foul trouble, that could be your defender itself.
Right, because it'd have to be a combination of Draymond and Andrew Wiggins, right? Just with the size and length.
No, he
would dominate Wiggins. He would dominate Wiggins.
Kevon Looney, he's too fast for him.
Way too fast for him. It would have to be Draymond, and then you would imagine some Andrew
Jermichael
Wiggins.
Green, maybe?
Yeah.
And so you'd sort of throw at him, but then Jermichael Green, I still think Jaren would cook Jermichael Green.
I just couldn't see Jermichael
But it's
Green
about,
do anything.
but in the end of the day, it's about Jaren staying out of foul trouble,
Right.
right? If he can stay out of foul trouble, a lot of these things are solved. But I don't think they have a natural matchup for him. And then John Morant, I think one thing, this is my worry right now.
Yeah.
John Morant has to get back to being as forceful as he was pre-suspension.
I think he will by the time playoffs roll.
I hope so.
He'll be fine.
I hope so.
The reason it concerns me playing Golden State and LA in that first round is the refs' whistles. Like the
Lakers whistle is brutal.
The Laker whistle and the Golden State whistle is brutal.
The Golden State less, because with the Lakers you have AD and LeBron who will challenge you at the rim no less than 10 times a game each. You know. So like they're going to get more whistles naturally than the Warriors will, unless you're closing out like idiots.
I think
Warriors 3-point shooting.
I think for me that first round matchup of either the Pelicans or the Clippers is what I'd be looking for.
Clippers no Paul George. If Paul George somehow suits back up though, I hate that matchup.
Yeah.
Hate it. But the way I ranked them, I'm basing it off of if Paul George is not going to be
if he's
in the
not
lineup.
playing. All right, Kenny, let's hit this last one.
Last segment, last question, last topic is UFC 287, baby. It's a big one. Our guy's back, man. Israel Adesanya is fighting to regain his belt. It's a stacked card. Obviously, 286 was really top heavy. Not a lot of stuff on the back end. 287 is the exact opposite. There's
more
just
spread out.
A little more spread out. Just a ton of fun. What are your guys' thoughts?
I want Izzy to get his belt back. Last time we said this,
I see.
We were wrong.
My brain is cooked from the Usman Edwards
fight.
stuff. So like I don't know what to say. Like Izzy won that fight through 4 rounds and just got knocked out.
Yep.
But we know that's possible with Pereira. So
He's got the great equalizer. Power.
yep.
And
So
a lot of it.
I don't know how to. I mean, I would pick Izzy.
Yeah.
He's a short favorite, -146, but I don't know. I don't know if like third, fourth round rolls around
If he catches
Alex
him.
sneaks him.
Yeah.
Just one good time.
I mean, I don't think it's very. I don't think there's much of a question that Israel Adesanya is a better mixed
All-around
martial
fighter,
artist than
yeah.
Alex Pereira, or just a better fighter.
Is
in
it
general. Pereira. It's just hard to say that every time, you know. But I think Izzy's just better. Obviously, he's probably my favorite fighter outside of John Jones, so of course I want him to win. But it's difficult when you have a guy that's so dangerous that at any given time he can throw a shot that shuts your lights off.
Yeah.
But here's the thing:
Izzy's-
we saw a little bit of wrestling from Izzy in the last fight. Does he incorporate more on Saturday to try to tire him out, to try to wear him out, to try to make him think, to try to make him bite on feints?
Is I've seen Izzy has knockout power against everybody else. But against Pereira, I think there's sort of a mental block for him because he's lost so many times.
He almost dropped him at the what was the beginning of the first? Was the beginning of the first or the
he's got that knockout
second?
power, but Pereira is just like
If he would have had 10
I
more
don't
seconds,
know, man.
Kenny, do you remember what round it was? Was it the first or second? It was the second. I'm pretty sure.
But here's my thing:
Second round.
How
Yeah.
big of a damn mental block is it? What's it been? 4 fights, or 3 fights?
3.
This will be the
one.
fourth. So they had 2 in
Kickboxing.
kickboxing, 1 in the UFC that Pereira won in the 5th round.
Right.
How much of a mind
Big time.
F is it that you're 0-3 against the dude?
It's got to
big
be.
time.
It's got to be big time.
I know. Like,
Because you
that
just
man
feel like, and the thing is, it's not like he's been dominated by him. Izzy's won pretty much every round they fought together. Pereira's just got more power.
Yeah.
And that's got to be the mental part of it. Is it's like it doesn't matter how much better I am than this guy, he can knock me out at any time, and that's a scary freaking thought.
Does it not change the way Izzy fights?
Maybe.
I mean, does it make him a little more cautious?
Point. He tried to be careful and take the points last time out and got knocked out in the 5th round. It's just weird.
It'll be interesting. It's going to be a fun. I mean, anytime Izzy fights, it's fun, and this is this obviously is a deep.
I have a feeling
rivalry.
he'll be locked in, but he was locked in last time.
For sure.
He was locked in last time.
So we'll see. Co-main event, a lot of fun. Should be a banger. Gilbert Burns and Jorge Masvidal.
Gilbert knocks him out in 2 rounds.
Gilbert gets him out of there.
Gilbert's going to buzzsaw through him, but it's a fun fight.
Dude, what? Jorge is not good anymore.
No, he's washed.
Yes.
Usman watched him, but it'll be a fun fight. Masvidal's more worried about his boxing promotion than he is fighting anymore.
He's trying to stay out of jail is what he's trying to do.
That's also true.
All right, we're rocking with, by the way, a parlay, Rosas Jr. to start the main event. Santiago Ponzinibbio over Kevin Holland, and then I'm going to go Gilbert Burns. How about that? We like that parlay?
Yeah, roll with it.
Three-legger?
Yeah, a couple good ones on the prelims also.
Kenny's about to say Kevin Holland's win that fight.
I like Kevin Holland.
I like Kevin Holland too, but if you're fit, that's one of those 50-50s to me. Like Santiago Ponzinibbio's been really good since he came back, so could go either way. On the prelims, got Chris Curtis and Kelvin Gastelum. That should be a fun fight. Michelle Watterson's on the card. Gerald Mearshart and Joe Pyfer. We know Joe Pyfer has a lot of steam behind him. We had a couple fights canceled, which sucks. And I just am now seeing this. I didn't even know this.
Why can I?
Chris Barnett got canceled off the card, and Michael Chiesa and Leach. And that was like,
Chiesa.
Leach and Chiesa.
Chiesa doesn't need to fight again. Isn't he like 40? That brother been fighting for years.
He's been fighting for a long time.
Chiesa's a monster.
He's still killing it, and Leach is always down for a banger.
Dude, Gerald Mearshart, I just remember him from getting knocked out by
Hamzat.
Yeah, by Hamzat.
Yeah,
within like what, 30 seconds?
Yeah,
20 seconds.
He got rocked.
Yeah. He ain't the only one though.
Should be fun. You got any plans for it? Just hanging out with the fellas?
Yeah, I'll
knocking back some brewskis.
You just made that sound so douchey.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not gonna sit. Actually, no. I'm gonna sit at my house
by yourself
with Taylor. Taylor and I are gonna watch a card. Since you say go hang out with the buddies and drink some brewskis.
Is that what you're gonna do?
That is the douchiest thing.
But is that what you're gonna do?
No, not anymore. Since you said it that way, I'm gonna be sitting at the house.
All right. Well, that's what you're gonna do. So accept it. And move on with it.
What are you doing? You gonna invite me over for a
crawfish boil?
Crawfish boil?
If we do it, I will invite you.
Okay.
And if you don't come, I will never invite you again. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
That is ridiculous.
I'm just kidding. I love you.
How far from East Memphis?
An hour and a half.
No way.
No, it's probably like
45 minutes.
No, like
30?
25, 30 minutes.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I can make that. We could.
You live close to Getwell.
We could make.
How far are you from Getwell?
From Getwell?
Yeah. You're probably not far from Getwell.
A couple miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because literally, like where we'll be is off of Getwell, but in Olive Branch, so it's not far.
Oh, so okay, yeah.
You literally just shoot straight down Getwell.
Do you have a Whataburger down that way?
Yes. Yeah, there is a Whataburger.
Yeah, see, but you see.
If we're eating crawfish, I don't think you need Whataburger.
Yeah.
All right.
Although I feel like I burn more than I take in sometimes when I eat crawfish.
You burn?
Like all the trying
Cracking?
to get it open and get that first scale off.
Yeah.
Eating it.
Yeah. I focus more on the cooler that's full of sausage and potatoes and corn.
Okay.
Because that's the stuff that fills you up.
Yes, that is.
Crawfish is just for the flavor. You ain't filling up off of that.
You suck the heads?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah.
See, I know some people that they scoop it out instead of sucking it, but I stay away from that. I just peel it, eat the meat, throw it out.
Yeah, it's how you should do it.
Yeah.
Don't go too hard.
Well, if we do that and you do come, you will see a lot of head sucking action, my friend, and not from me.
A lot of what action?
A lot of head sucking action.
All right. Yeah.
Talking about crawfish
outro.
here.
Let's
talk
outro.
about crawfish.
Let's outro.
Here.
You've done enough.
All right.
Outro.
Thank you guys for joining us this week. Head over to bluffcitymedia.co. Check out all the content we got rolling over there. Subscribe on YouTube. Yes, we've said it a couple times, but our show, we should have said this at the top, but we all suck at this. Our show is moving to Tuesday now on the Bluff. Tuesday release now from now on. Tigers Untapped. Moving to the Wednesday release. We're taking the beginning of the week. Trey and TJ taking the middle of the week. Check out all the shows, all the content, everything we got going on. Check out Gabe's beard because it's beautiful.
I'm about to trim it down though.
He's trimming
so
it down.
So enjoy this episode while it's
hopefully when we're back next week, we've had crawfish together, we've communed, we've broken bread, we've fellowshipped, and Gabe has gotten a haircut.
Good deal.
We'll see y'all next week.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you for listening to One on One. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like and a comment wherever you download your podcasts. Head over to www.bluffcitynil.com where you will find comprehensive coverage of Tiger athletics and how you can become a contributor. We will see you back here next time.